Good. So for most of the projects that I'm going to be doing on this channel, I'll be using Python, and I decided that I'm going to record a short series of videos on Python basics, and today I'm just going to show how to download it and set it up. Downloading Python is pretty simple. All you gotta do is go to the web browser and type in download Python, and go to the python.org page. Right from here, you can click this and download the installer, or alternatively, you can type in Anaconda Python, go to their web page, and go to the bottom of it, choose your operating system, and download the installer from here. After it's downloaded, all you gotta do is go to the folder where your downloads are and find either of the executables. Just double click it and the setup wizard will take you through the steps. You will probably have to follow just the default steps, and if you're only intending to use one version of Python, you might as well add it to the path. If you didn't add Python to the path, you can't use the following syntax in the command prompt because it will not have the Python here. And you would have to specify the directory of the Python executable to run the program and have it in the same directory. If, however, you have it in the system variables, let me add it quickly. And you want to write Python and then the Python script you have there, it's going to work. You probably heard that to write a program, all you need is a text document. And let's see the script that I showed you earlier. It looks like this. I wrote it in the notepad. All you gotta do is change it to the Python file format, and then it runs. But then writing a program like this isn't very convenient, so I would strongly suggest you get some sort of Python IDE, and you can just Google them and see what works best for you. They are different. There is Atom, PyCharm, VS Code, Spyder, Jupyter Notebooks, which is a web browser IDE. I personally have whatever came with Anaconda, which is Spyder and Jupyter Notebook, and then I have the PyCharm and VS Code. But that does not mean that these are the best options by any means. In fact, VS Code is probably not one of the best options. Visual Studio Code was not originally designed to be for Python, so it does require a little bit of setup, which really comes down to having the extensions downloaded and installed, which you can do through the VS Code, and it will prompt you as soon as it sees the .py file, it will prompt you to download this one for linting and debugging. And then I also prefer to have the code runner, and I did modify it a little bit, which you can do by literally going to extension settings and seeing what you want here, something like clear the screen and save the program once you run it. But one thing I don't like about it is that how it works with input function of Python. So code runner does not recognize input for the Python files because the terminal is read-only. So let's have the program run here, and I cannot type anything here. To avoid that, we can stop the program, and in Visual Studio you can just run the Python file in terminal, and this will allow you to type in this case, your name. And then it will say, "Hi, Ivan." And so it works. In PyCharm, because it was, as the name suggests, designed for Python, there isn't such a problem. If I go to the same program and run it here, the tip of a day. Then this terminal allows me to type in right away. And my absolute favorite Jupyter notebooks. So it came with Anaconda, which I had installed. So I have this file open here. By the way, notice that the extension is different. It's a Python notebook instead of just .py. And then here I have the same program written, except for without the time waiting. And the input works straight in the notebook. And then what's neat about it is that I don't have to create a new file to run a different program. I can just write in a different cell, something like hello world. And also that variables by default are global, so we remember that our name was typed in here. Ivan, if I run it in a different cell, it's saved. And then another cool feature is that you can just create not just like comments about the code, but full notes, paragraphs, and describe what's going on. And you have their certain format of notes that you can do. You just have to change the cell type, and that you can do here from code to markdown, and then let it be some text over here. If I run it, it will just display it like this. Also, if I change this cell to the markdown as well, I can add pictures here, links. Will let me add this picture and run the cell. Hooray! It just displays the image instead of code. And last but not least, how do you get the packages installed for Python? Since we have the scripts as well added to the system variables, I can just type in pip install numpy, and this will get me numpy, except for I already have it. If you had the Anaconda version installed, just go to the Anaconda prompt and type conda install numpy as well, which by the way comes with conda, so you don't have to install numpy, pandas, matplotlib, scikit-learn, or any of those data science packages. They already come preloaded, and this one is obviously already installed as well. So I hope you like this video. There's going to be another maybe 4 or 5 videos that are just going to be plain tutorials like this, and then I'll just start doing projects, and hopefully you can follow along and use them for yourself, come up with better ideas on how to implement certain concepts, and just have fun.